major project. Um, this is my major project, and the character I chose is Ophelia. Let's look at her character profile. So her character arch. At first, Ophelia was a sweet, obedient, and she was innocent. She would listen to anything her father would tell her. She was pretty much, just an outgoing girl. Throughout the play, though, a lot of trauma got dumped on her. Like Hamlet rejected her. Her father had died. All these things contributed to her kind of falling down a rabbit hole. You know, she went a little insane, and eventually she ended up dying. And some people argue that it was suicide. Some say it was a mistake, but we don't really know. Her role. So Ophelia's role. Well, she was the daughter of Polonius, who was the right hand man of the king. She was also the sister of Laertes and the love interest of Hamlet. She got caught in the middle of all the major men in the play, like like how her father used her as a spy and all of these things. But her role was actually to show how women are expected to be obey and remain silent. She was basically a symbol of how women were treated back when the play was originally written. Relationships. Polonius is her father. She was really controlling of her daughter. Uh, and like I said before, he used Ophelia to spy on Hamlet. Latus is her brother. He's also very protective, a little bit controlling, and again, him and her father both warn her not to trust Hamlet. Now, Hamlet is her love interest, and he plays a big part in Ophelia's madness. Observations and inferences. So, throughout the play, you can see that she was one treated like an object. She was constantly controlled by men in her life. Her own father stated in the play that he'd lose my daughter to him, technically saying that he'd use her as a spy to get inside information on Hamlet, which is basically just using her like an object. She was really emotionally isolated as well throughout the play. She was barely seen being comforted or loved by those around her. I could say maybe only Hamlet really comforted her in the beginning of the play when he would show his love interest to her. But throughout the play, he ended up rejecting her, telling her to get thee to a nunnery. Those who were spying on her didn't even bother to confront her after Hamlet had left, and they just left Ophelia in a devastated state. She also symbolizes innocence. Throughout the play, Ophelia represents a flower. Basically, just imagine a flower being blown away into the wind. The wind chooses where the flower goes, and the wind can be seen as all the men trying to control her. Now, does Ophelia's actions justify her consequences? Um, I think no. Ophelia's actions do not justify what happened to her. She was innocent. She had nothing to do with her demise. It was all because of the men who tried controlling her, and which she had no say in whatsoever. We can look at evidence one, where the first evidence from the play that shows why Ophelia's actions were orchestrated by other people is when she constantly obeyed her father. When Ophelia was seen saying her goodbye to Laertes as he was about to sail off, her father told her to stay away from Hamlet. And usually, when someone tells you something that you don't want to do, maybe you rebel, maybe you talk back. But Ophelia simply just said, "I shall obey my lord," which kind of sounds a little odd talking to your father. It's like as if she's addressing a king of some sort, an important figure. And through this constant obedience to her father's wishes, Ophelia met her demise. Let's look at evidence two. Another evidence that shows why Ophelia's actions did not lead her to her demise is when Ophelia's father used her to spy on Hamlet. While she was being used as a spy, Hamlet said some harsh things and rejected Ophelia. This really put a toll on her since Ophelia really loved Hamlet, and to see such a person you love so much reject you and act crazy in a way really put a toll on her. And like I said before, after Hamlet left, no one even thought to check up on Ophelia to ask if she was okay. They just went on with their day and continued plotting. And it wasn't even her lying or scheming to begin with, yet she was still affected. Evidence 3. The last evidence to show how Ophelia's actions did not cause her demise is the grief and unstable condition she amounted to after her father had passed. So, after her father did pass, things started to go downhill after that. On top of Hamlet's rejection and her father's death, it was all just a lot for her to process, and it kind of put a toll on her, making her go insane. Which it's not her fault. She did not cause any of these things to happen. It was the men in the play who caused these things to happen. Conclusion. So, Ophelia's role in the play was truly heartbreaking, not because of her actions, but due to the little control she had over her own choices, which was really devastating. Being governed mainly by other men in the play, although proving to be a respectful, obedient, and kind person, those positive aspects did not really play in her favor. It was more that it contributed to her demise, making her easy to manipulate and control. Although her death was very tragic, she helps to remind us that those who suppress their emotions and conform to others' wills can undergo great trauma. She kind of lives on as a reminder or as a symbol to everyone out there that you shouldn't let people control you. And what I found was really amazing was how Shakespeare portrayed Ophelia in such a way, considering that women were not seen in such a way when Shakespeare wrote the play. So, yeah, that was just really interesting to me. Reflection. So, what went well? I feel like I chose a good character with a clear tragic arc. I didn't want to go too basic with Hamlet, so I feel like Ophelia was a good choice. I used strong evidence, hopefully. And I explained it clearly. I made connections between her actions and the unfair consequences she faced. And what I want to improve next time, if I had more time, if I had more resources, if I could expand and make it longer, I would dig deeper and I would expand on multiple characters, connecting them together and just trying to unravel everything. But yeah, this is the end of my presentation, and I hope you like it. Goodbye.